Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. This is Mars here. I'm here with my boys, PD and Cal. Say what's up, gents?
Hey, what's going on?
Ready to rock.
Today we're talking about the new history of DC Universe being pushed out by Mark Waid. According to him, it's his dream project. So hey, I'm gonna pass it on to our boy PD. PD, tell us, why in the world do we even want this again? What's going on?
I think you already said it. You already said that this is Mark Waid's dream project. Now,
What is his dream product? Why do you think we need it?
no, I mean he did his own version of he did his own version of Superman origin. DC had, I mean, DC, the history of DC Universe is a project that was, actually started in mid '80s before Crisis. It was originally what Crisis was going to be. They were going to do their history in a 12-part series and then blow the whole thing up, which is what, sort of the New 52. They're going to blow it all up. They'd asked many people to do it, and then at the same time, Marv Wolfman was doing, instead of doing that, kind of moved it towards Crisis, connecting with the years of DC doing Crisis Between the Infinite Earths. So they did that project, and after that was done, and after Man of Steel, and after Year One and Wonder Woman, they said, "Hey, let's get a linear version of the DC universe." So, and I think Marv and George Perez, they kind of did a nice thing, which was clear cut history of this new timeline. And then I think by the time Hawkman happened, then it was, it made bits of it a lie. And then they kept kind of changing. But at the same time, the way Perez and Marv Wolfman had done it, even though there was changes to Green Lantern, they hadn't gotten too crazy into the history. So when changes happened, some of those things work. Hawk World was so different from Hawkman, so it was kind of like hard to fit it in. But most stuff you could keep in there. You could do the longbow hunters and not change. It didn't affect what was going on in the history. So for a while, it was a very, like a, it was a, like kind of a looking at it in a vast way without getting into too many particulars. Since I think this is like a 4-part series, the other one was two double size, what's that thing called? Prestige format thing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same content for each issue, but then he has more time to do it. But the hard part is, trying to take the entire DC universe and try to put it in some linear fashion, unless you're doing like an encyclopedia. Encyclopedias are easier because you're just saying, this was going on in this period, this is going on in this period. If he's trying to do something a la Marv Wolfman and George Perez with the entire history, he got his hands full. But at the same time, if he's doing it like he did Batman and Robin, he's just going to make his changes and kind of work it in there. If we get any little bit of Supreme in here, I'm going to shoot myself. But that's we'll see how it forms. If it's more in the Supreme realm, if it's more in the Marv Wolfman realm, if it's more in the who's that guy? More in the what's that? Roy Thomas, who was a historian and did a lot of stuff documented in Secret Origins, because I think that's initially where Waid was at DC. They would do Secret Origins, and they would factor in, all different Earths. They could be showcased in Secret Origins. So he started out kind of there, and he liked definitely a lot of the Silver Age stuff. I think DC had vetoed doing the original Clayface origin that was from the 50s, and they said, no, you can't do this with Clayface. We're doing something so heavy, so they kind of rejected it. But he gets to do what he wants, and we'll see what it is. The art's going to be good. We got Jerry Ordway and Todd Nanak, two different styles. People that were Tanak is a more 90s guy. Jerry Ordway's been around since the 80s, but they're classic artists, and you got a bunch of different covers here, which I can go through. Sam was it Chris Samney? He's in there. This is just a cover from Dan Moore. He's not doing interiors, but it's a great picture of Wonder Woman, the Golden Age Wonder Woman. And I'm not sure what this artist is, but this looks great. And you got Ryan Sook doing some things, so it should look good.
It does. So what's your take, Cal?
As long as the art looks good, I really don't care.
It looks like this is taking a much more a retro view, like it's going back into the pantry of DC and coming up with some of these heroes that we haven't seen or used much recently. Um,
Yes.
and so you have this whole thing that what like Justice Society people.
I don't
Yes.
know if this is. I don't know. I'm reluctant to call it retro when this is. I mean, look, if you're talking about the history of the DC universe, this is the history of the DC universe. So, these that's pretty much the history. When we got that history of the DC universe after Crisis, this was more like this is the new history of the DC universe. And I'm going to presume that this approach is going to try to incorporate, things from the golden age up till now as much as you can streamline it. I don't know how successful he's going to be, but the original one, I just enjoyed that for the splash pages. At the end of the day, I was still, my knowledge of the DC universe was still very, very incomplete at that time. So it would be years later before I realized, like, wait a minute. So it would be years later before I would be able to pinpoint, wait, this doesn't line up. This doesn't make any sense. That type of stuff. So it was just, for me, it was just an entertaining read because of the art and, these quick synopses on, you know, where the hero was. Like at the same time, at the same time that Batman is, his parents are being killed, Kal-El's rocket ship is firing from Krypton. I'm like, oh, okay, nice stuff, but I don't know how he's going to do it for here. But if the art's cool, I'll pretty much enjoy it.
I mean, the art looks good. I mean, in his covers, but the big two are not here, Superman and Batman. So
They're
What about
there.
the Justice Society?
No, he got him up. He don't know Batman and Superman, but they're here. Did we see the Golden Age Superman and Batman in some of these picks?
Oh, show us
So
a pic. Show us a pic with them. I mean, you can
right,
see Superman. You can
yeah,
see
that right here.
Superman right there in the middle here with the Action Comics one
Yeah,
homage right there. And this is probably four covers put together. I'm going to presume that Doctor Fate, is going to be the guy like kind of connecting all four covers, like a piece of him there.
yeah, I expect that Shazam and the Hawk people are going to be a much bigger part of this, right? I mean, you got
Who?
it literally when you have Superman being overblown by all of these other characters. You know, he's in
What are
the
you
middle.
talking about?
he's talking about because you can't. You can. He's picking up a car in there. He's
He's
not in there, but
he's dead
Batman's in the
center.
middle. Yeah,
He's
he's in
dead
the,
center. What are you talking about?
Doctor Fate is way bigger. Batman is way
all
bigger.
right, so then we go.
Yeah, okay.
We go
All
to
right.
this one here. This is the probably the main cover, right, or something. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, right at the top, and that would be if it's a fold-out cover. They're right on the at the beginning of there. Of this.
This looks like cover art for like a hardcover, if anything.
So it just depends on which picture you're looking at.
Yeah, that's a nice piece.
Who's the guy with the mask, the red
This
mask?
is all, yeah, this is all Golden Age characters. This is funny. This is
That's
all
the
Golden,
vigilante.
and then they don't have and Captain Marvel's not on here.
But yeah, this stage is all. What was it? We have
Is that Aquaman in the background?
yeah, Aquaman. You
You
got
have
Zantara.
the original Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Alan Scott.
Who's the guy with the
Oh,
mummy?
this is a JSA. Is that the Unknown
yeah,
Soldier?
the Unknown Soldier. We got the original
Yeah, this is
Samurai.
like yeah, this is like World War. That's why I'm surprised Captain Marvel isn't here because these are all like World War II, 1930s, early 1940s characters. Yeah, surprised. No, again, because you have Amazing Man is on the cover and they don't have Captain Marvel, so I think that's just a misstep on their part because they really they keep proving they don't know what to do with this character, and he's perfect for this time period.
Shazam, yeah.
I mean, he's one of the characters that was created in that time period.
Yeah, and then let's see that. But yeah, look. I mean, the hard part is if Well, I guess when he did Birthright, it was just his continuity. It wasn't necessarily you weren't stuck with saying you had to follow all the stuff that was in it, and hopefully it's just a project that's out there. It's kind of well, here it is. People like the first one. Might want to see how Mark Waid does his. So,
Yeah. I mean, I just thought this was going to be when Didio had done the whole thing, the timeline, and I thought that settled everything. But I guess
Okay, why are you holding up? You talk about it. Talk about 5G that he had a time. Talk about it. You said it on the get into it, man.
I'm just saying I thought that the whole thing with Didio was that the 5G was it, and there would be nothing else. But it's like if we're going to be changing the history and the timeline every couple of years, then what the Goonie Goo Goo? You know what I'm trying to say?
We're gonna be as they said that we're
You know?
talking about. They're
Why
gonna
don't
be
they give
changing the
Bendis a chance?
timeline every year.
They
Every
haven't
so year
changed.
they're gonna keep changing it.
I'm not sure where that's coming from because they haven't changed the timeline every year, let alone every 5 years. So I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm saying this. You had Didio had a whole thing. Wonder Woman was the first superhero going
Right.
forward, and now you're doing this whole
Yeah, but
new.
that never happened. So I'm not sure what your point is.
It did happen, didn't they say it? Then they
No,
pointed out they had a whole
no,
He's saying
cloud
it didn't
dimension.
actually happen because they didn't. He was gone. They
he
killed
was
him.
gone. They never. That was this whole 5G initiative. Didn't happen. Most of that stuff got rolled over into Infinite Frontier, and that all that did was make they that storyline pretty much said, look, it's all continuity. If it happened, it was if it happened in the main titles, it was continuity. That's pretty much was the big thing that came out of that. It did not make Wonder Woman the first superhero.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know they were talking about it in the cons over and over, but all right, cool, no problem then.
Well, I'm thinking the thing is the idea to keep. I don't want to get off of that point though. Is that you don't want to get away from the fact that ultimately, trying to have a history that's streamlined is really not something for DC. It's something that the comic book the actual talents or the editors were like, let's put these letters to the side that are trying to explain to us that we got everything wrong. Let's put those away because we're not going to explain why this. And sometimes they'd be like, okay, let's explain how Kryptonians got headbands. Let's do that for some reason, like that sort of thing. Where it's like sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't, and then DC became a big thing to do it, and then next thing you get the 0 years and the 0 hour, and that sort of thing. So it's not as prevalent like when people say, as Cal said, like people bring up. He didn't say it in this case, but like people talk about changing history every year. But it's like people talking about Jean Grey saying that she comes back and dies all the time when she died once and came back, once. So it's kind of like, but then later on, Grant Morrison said, well, it happened so many times. Like, no, it happened. She came back once, so and she didn't come back as Phoenix. She came back as without the Phoenix. It's like, nope, this is what happens. And people are like, yeah, she dies all the time and comes back. Storytelling wise, many times they use the Phoenix after she died, yes, but people don't call into question that. And the same with DC Universe. This is, I guess you could say, this officially the second real time that they've changed it, but at the same time, it's like, hey, we need to explain this, so we need to change this, we need to change that, and they would do it over time. And as you go along, you would change history. You got Wade doing it with his year one, and Batman and Robin year one. So this is a portion of the DC universe that's going to happen. I think they were talking about when a series that I liked, which was I just mentioned it, 0 Year for Batman, where they were like they didn't want to do it, and DC was like, well, we're doing it, so either you guys do it or we'll find someone else. It's all right. We'll give you some what we're thinking as far as an origin. So yeah.
Question is, do you think anybody's going to care? Do you think this is really going to get out there and do? I mean, there's so many
Well, obviously,
characters here.
one person we know is not going to care.
It's just so much stuff here, and I just don't know, man.
Look, you can't judge. Oh, I don't believe I got to say this. You can't judge the book by the splash cover art.
Oh
Okay.
no, you don't judge the book by the cover. Isn't that how we all do things? You know,
No, I can buy the book for the cover, but I can't judge the book for the cover.
you say, "Hey, wow, that looks good. Let me take a look into it." That's the cover sells the book. You've told me this many times. People buy books simply because of the
I'll
cover.
repeat what I just said. You can buy the book for the cover art, not caring what's inside, but you can't judge the book by the cover art.
Well, this gets into another thing, right? Like, actually, if we look at this one, I've stayed on. Like, I get, like Plastic Man. It's like, but look on the first row.
Yeah,
the funny animals,
Yep, I was looking at that. That's exactly what I was thinking.
and all the other, obviously the other strips that probably were in the back of Action Comics and the cartoon characters. They're throwing like Anthro, yeah, there's people that appeared in this, but some of the stuff is just like, are you gonna try to have them? It's gonna be the Where's Waldo of it, and maybe it is gonna be that. Maybe it will be the Waldo. But the thing I'm looking at it, and I'm like,
Uncle Sam.
yeah, that's a character. But they mean they have the Phantom Lady is there too. So that's Uncle Sam is connected to that. So that's not too strange of a character. Um,
What,
they
the Three Musketeers?
they it seems like as Perez would be the artist who put every bit in there. Mark Waid is trying to top who's that guy? He's trying to top who's that guy that just
Like
left?
this?
Jeff Johns. I can't seem to find where are the challengers. That's the case. This is hard. But anyway, all right.
Part of the
So
time is being this small. You gotta look for four. You gotta look for four dudes in purple.
that should be easy.
Not with this cover.
Like
Who are you looking for?
the
The challenges.
challengers. I see.
Challenges
I keep seeing the Three Musketeers.
I see a
Wow.
dude
Where do
with
you
a,
see?
with a metal helmet right
Where do you
next to
see
him.
the Three Musketeers? I can see the
Under
Blackhawks.
under the Spectre.
Yeah, under the Spectre.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, I see. It looks like Zorro's there too. I think
That's not Zorro.
Zorro with the mask. Okay. There's a lot of characters, so I mean, I really, I'm intrigued to see how they're gonna place all of these characters because
Maybe they didn't put the. I don't think they put the challenges on this cover.
That would be a crime.
a crime is a good thing or a crime is a
There's
bad thing.
no
What?
such crime bad. There's no bad meaning good for a crime.
Do we want to see the challengers?
Yes.
Yes.
No, the comic is not that great.
The
Have you
com-
read an issue of the challengers?
Yes, I have the latest issues I've been reading.
No, the original stuff.
Not the original stuff. I'm reading the new stuff. I'm not reading the
Have you
old.
read the original stuff?
I just
That's
said no. I said
the
I'm reading
reason
the
why
new
we
stuff.
got the reason why we have the modern stuff is because the original stuff. That's the stuff you need to read. Is that them? Is that them like underneath Captain Marvel? I just can't make anything out from this image. It's just too small on my computer screen.
okay.
I mean, I can see the Blackhawks. They're easy.
Blackhawks, yes, I spotted them. And then, well, at least they got. Come on, Wade. Why don't you just do a story with my guy Degaton? Could come on, DC. I need a big crossover with Degaton. Like, come on.
Yeah, that would be bad. Are the Seven Soldiers of Victory there? And he didn't have the challengers?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. What's her name is there too? Giganta, she's there. Yeah,
Yep.
so yeah, I think the challengers didn't make the cut.
man,
Is
whoever
it the
did
guys in
this,
orange? It's like three guys in orange uniforms. I don't know what it is.
Challengers are purple.
I'm just saying, just in case.
Man, Dr. Occult made the cut, and the challengers aren't there.
man, DC,
Who's that?
DCing. DC going to DC.
Well, well, this is just down on who did the cover.
Well, they got thousands of characters, so
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out a reason why the challengers wouldn't be here. First, I was thinking, well, maybe it's because they're trying to go like more like Golden Age. But I know like Giganta right there, she's not a Golden Age character. She didn't come around until Challenge of the Super Friends.
Maybe they have on their weird costumes. I can't find. I'm not finding Cave Carson either. So
Well,
probably this is a whole new
I'll
universe.
send this one to the comments.
Yeah, I
You know,
said probably this is
if
like
you
the
find the
JSA.
challengers, if you can, if you find the challengers, can you let us know where you see them? Thanks.
I'm
I
claiming
don't
the
see
three
'em.
guys. I'm claiming the three guys in orange under the Spectre. Under the three
no,
Musketeers.
that's not them though. What
That's
that guy's
Who is
chin
the?
is
Who are
too
those three
big.
guys?
His chin is too big to be what's the
The
name?
challengers are four dudes. It's three dudes, one girl, and they all have purple outfits on.
Well, they didn't make the cut then.
No, I'm sorry, five. It's five characters.
Yeah, unless
Look, Alvin and the Chipmunks too.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of crazy. Well, at least the Newsboy Legion, or yeah, the Newsboy Legion made it in
Which version of Superman is that?
the Golden Age.
Golden Age. Wonder Woman is there with her horse.
Yep.
All right, hey. So hey, if you like what you hear, guys, give us a thumbs up. If you can figure the hell out who everybody is, that'll help. You know, if you can find the challengers for Cal, so he can finally get a rest here, please put it in
Well,
the
I'm gonna
comments.
find them on my own. I got a bigger image now. I'm gonna find them.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I
Let's
don't know what's gonna
see.
happen.
No,
Give us a
if they're not
thumbs
there,
up,
they're not there. That's all that's gonna do.
subscribe, Spinrack.
We are
Out.
out of here.
It looks as though they're not going to be part of